By now, you probably already know that this is one of the best controllers ever made, according to a lot of YouTubers and reviewers out there. And as a matter of fact, I completely agree with that. And I just wanted to do a quick video talking about my particular use case and why this is an absolute must-buy. Well, it's not a must-buy. I mean, it's a luxury item. I could live without it. You know what I mean. Hi there, fellow Nintendo gamers, I'm Veggie Vulture, and today I want to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller and my particular use case and why I absolutely love it to death. Now, if you're new to the channel and you like what I do, make sure to hit the thumbs up and put in the comments that I'm doing a good job. It really helps a small YouTuber like myself out a lot. And if you want to win one of these, a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, make sure to subscribe, because as my 20th video on this channel, which is coming up soon, I will be doing a giveaway video for this Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, so make sure to not miss out on that because you can win one for yourself. Now, without further ado, there's a lot of reviews on this thing on YouTube. So if you want a more technical approach, make sure to check out one of those videos. This video is not at all a technical video. I do not know what technology is in here to do all of the stuff that it does. All I know is that I am just a gamer, 38 years old. I've been playing consoles, especially Nintendo and Xbox consoles, for my entire life, and I've never touched a controller as great as this one. I'm not even exaggerating. I don't get paid by anybody to say that. This is so incredibly good. So what I want to do in this video is talk about a few things. First of all, I want to talk about the price really quickly, because there's a lot of people out there that get something very important wrong about the pricing of this controller. Then I want to talk about the new feature that this controller has compared to the old Nintendo Switch 1 controller, which was also a great controller, by the way, and how I personally use those features and why I use those features for myself in my particular use case. And I also want to quickly talk about something that this controller does so well, and I do not understand how they do it. So first up, let's talk about the pricing of the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller. And this is a really important aspect that kind of irritates me when people talk about it. A lot of people have been telling me like, hey, 80 euros or 90 euros for a controller, for just a controller for your system, is very damn expensive. No, it isn't. You're comparing it to the wrong controller. You're comparing it to Xbox and PlayStation's base controllers, which are cheaper than the 80 or 90 euros that you pay for this controller, right? But that is because this is a Pro Controller. So you need to compare this to the Xbox Elite controller or the PlayStation, what is that? The PlayStation Edge, PlayStation 5, PlayStation Edge 2 controller. I do not know a lot about PlayStation. I love their single player games. I love what they're doing, but I'm just not a PlayStation gamer. So the PlayStation Pro Controller, Elite, Edge, whatever it is, costs 200 euros, which is a lot more expensive. Also, it has more like customizable features than this thing. Of course, you get more for that, but that's a $200, 200 euros controller. Prices vary. You can get them cheaper, of course. When I was looking for the Xbox Elite controller, it was anywhere between like 130 and 150 euros. I also found one like a bright red one for 100 euros, but still, that's more expensive than the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, because comparing this to the normal DualSense controller for PlayStation or the normal generic Xbox controller is wrong, because you need to compare these to that. This is the controller you get with your system. So this is your base controller, and this is the controller you should compare to the base controller of other systems. And a lot of people are comparing, I'm just putting this back on my Switch, a lot of people are comparing the Pro Controller to the normal controllers of the other systems, which is just the wrong way of looking at it. And then if you look at it in the right way, according to my humble opinion, just a guy on the internet, this becomes a really good deal. 90 euros for what you're getting is absolutely, to my opinion, worth it. Now let's talk about the new features of the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller from an actual user who is 38 years old and has a wife, has 2 kids, a house, a dog, and a full-time job. So doesn't get to play games 8 hours a day and stuff like that, who just wants to sit down and enjoy games with a good controller. So a lot of YouTubers and articles out there go really technical with that kind of stuff, but I really don't give a single shit about what's going on underneath in like the shell of this thing and how they're getting to the quality they're getting. It's like other people with cars. I'm a car mechanic. I care about how an engine gets to 200 horsepower, but an actual user like a commuter who goes to their work and back and forth and just uses a car for work, they don't care how a car gets to 200 horsepower. They just want a car that feels good and drives well. And I am the same with my controllers, and this one is by far the best one that I've ever had. Now, it has a few new features, but really quickly, before I go into that, this thing, the old Nintendo Switch 1 controller, is still a very good controller. A lot of people right now are going out of their way to really call this a shitty controller for some reason. There's YouTubers like trying to squeak it to prove that it makes a lot of noise and it's really clicky, which it is, but it is not a bad controller. If you have this one, and you just don't want to spend the $80 on this yet, maybe you want to ask it for Christmas or like in the holidays or Black Friday or whatever, this is still a very good controller. 2 things it can do is go to the chat thing. There is a chat button on the other one, which you can use, but you can just use your menu to do that, right? So you can still do that. And it cannot wake the Switch 2 up from sleep. Maybe there's going to be a firmware update at some point, but right now it can't as of recording this video, which is, it's really not a big deal, but it's also like a convenience that I really like to have because it works very well on the Nintendo Switch 2. So, new features. Basically, there's a few features on this that I use, that I really, really use. And the most important one for me has to be the jack. It's really hard to show on camera, but there is a audio jack right here. It's, what is it? Like a small type jack, not like the mic. Oh, sorry, not like the micro small, but also not the big one. It's just a normal jack that you can plug a headphone in. But also it picks up your microphone if you have a headphone with microphones. What I use are these old as hell, crappy earbuds that I got for free with a phone at some certain point in my life. Like, I'm talking maybe 10 years ago, because it still has a jack. What phone still has a jack, right? So I just plug that in right here, and I use it like this. And as you can see, it also has a microphone and it picks that up. I got to play like this. So when I play with Sam, my main Nintendo buddy that I play Fantasy Life with a lot right now, he gets my voice through this thing, and I get my audio and his audio and the game audio through this, which is like just super convenient. I know Xbox had this for like ages already, but having this on the Nintendo console just really, it finishes it off. It makes everything that's great about Nintendo and then adds that social feature like the game chat and all of that, and the convenience of plugging in a headset into like the Nintendo worlds, which just finishes it off. It's just like the icing on the cake, if you know what I mean. Another new thing about this that I really use is the back buttons right here. I thought I was never going to use them, but I actually now use them for 2 games. I've been playing No Man's Sky, and I actually use these back buttons for doing barrel rolls with my airplane, because barrel rolls are right here, but also speeding up is right here and slowing down is right here. And I do not like doing this. I do not like using my middle finger and my index finger. I always want to do this. I know I'm all school about that. That's just the way I play video games. So when I'm speeding up and slowing down, I don't want to switch between these, so I just do it like this. I do barrel rolls here, and I do speeding up and slowing down here, which makes flying a little bit more convenient. Also, for a game like Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, when you switch between powers, and I know you can take another control scheme and all of that, but when you switch between powers, standard, it is via the D-pad, which means you need to take your thumb off of this one and then go to the D-pad to switch your powers. Now you get to switch your powers with these things, so you never need to take your thumb off of your D-pad, which is also very convenient. If you want to remap these, all you do is you just hold the home button for a little while, and then it pops up this little menu And you can just like remap these buttons to any other button of the controller. Sorry, hit my microphone right there. To any other button of the controller, which is like super, super convenient. Now, another thing that this controller does is it is dead silent. Like, seriously. There's no sound coming from the sticks and the buttons. It is so incredibly silent. Now, something that I've been doing for the last couple of years is play my Nintendo Switch in bed while my wife, girlfriend, I should say, we're not married, but we've been together for like 20 years. So, I mean, like my girlfriend is asleep next to me. I play my Switch in bed for another hour or so, right? With the Switch 1, it was kind of a clicky console, but it was manageable and my girlfriend could sleep through that. The Switch 2's Joy-Cons are incredibly clicky. I cannot play those next to my girlfriend while she's asleep. It's impossible. I can with this one. So something that I do, this is like super specific, I know, but it is my use case. I put my Switch on my lap or whatever, and then I take my controller and I play in bed with the Pro Controller, but I put my Switch on my lap. So it plays basically playing tabletop mode, right? But then also, I do not need to put these in the Switch and then have them go under my Switch and under my controller and then being in the way. I put them directly in my Pro Controller. I even once wanted to play handheld. I just wanted to play handheld because just to test out some stuff, right? I was just feeling handheld mode, but this thing was laying next to me. So I was playing handheld with my Switch, but I was getting audio from this thing. So that's why I like the features, but the silenceness, is that a word? Of this controller is uncanny. There's literally no sound coming from it. It's the first thing my girlfriend said when I was playing it. She said like, there's no sound coming from that. That's so freaking silent. It's crazy. Now, another feature that it has is really quickly the chat button, which is something not like super necessary, but it's also necessary. Super specific, I know, but pressing this button pops up the chat menu, right? Now, you can also access the chat menu from your home screen. So, at first thought, you're like, I'm not getting this controller for the chat button because I can just hit my home button and then go to the chat menu, right? Yes, you can. But in a game like Fantasy Life I, if you're in the multiplayer section and you dare press this home button, you get thrown out of the multiplayer session. You lose connection in Fantasy Life I. So if you want to like adjust the volume of your friend's voice or whatever, you need to go to the chat menu. If you do that while in multiplayer with Fantasy Life, you're screwed. You need to do it through this button. The button is also on the Joy-Cons, and it is on this controller. But it isn't yet on the old controller. So yeah, for me, I really like that the button is right there, because some games just cannot handle you going back to the home menu. That's just something, yeah, we need to deal with, I guess. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about is the battery life. I know the battery life of the Nintendo Switch itself is abysmal. It's not good. I mean, it's not like super bad because handheld gaming PCs who run powerful games also have the same kind of battery life. But it's also not like, oh wow, I can play this thing for ages if I put the brightness down and I plug in my earbud instead of using the speakers. No, you can't. You can play for like 2 to 3 hours depending on what you're playing, right? That said, the battery life of this, like, I don't know. I don't even know how. I mean, I had this thing since launch day, and I think I charged it twice, and once I didn't even need to charge it. I just charged it because it had like a little, like it was halfway there, right? I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not gonna use it for the rest of the night, so just plug it in until tomorrow. It is incredible. I see myself taking this thing to vacation, holiday, whatever, and just not having to charge it and play it for an entire week. I don't know exactly how long it will last. But yeah, I don't want to get technical with like what batteries in here, but I don't know how to explain this, but you plug it in, you charge it, and then you play it forever. And that's it. That's my video about the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. I do not want to talk about the feel of the controller itself too much because that's something you need to experience for yourself. If you ever see a demo setup or your friend of yours has one, make sure to pick it up and play it for like 5 minutes and feel it for yourself. The finish of it is incredible. The buttons are just, I don't know, there's something about the buttons, all of them just feel incredibly great, and the sticks are just, it's the kind of controller that you forget that you're holding it. You forget that it exists, and you forget that you're playing with this particular controller, and that is really, really good. That's a feature I always look for in anything that I use, is where the item that you're using kind of becomes an extension of your body, and you just use it without even thinking about it, and you do not even ever have to, almost never have to charge it. So if you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, put in the comments that I'm doing a good job. If you have any questions, I will probably answer them, because we are a small channel that is still manageable on this channel. And consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if you want to win one of these, because I am going to do a giveaway video of a Nintendo Switch Pro controller in the future. That's how much I like the thing.